an important comeback win for C9 to keep them tied for second place and just 2 games back of the leaders LMQ. Now, Freak, this is not the first time, though, this split that we've seen C9 have to make a comeback.
Yeah, I'm actually not a big fan of the Cloud9 style right now where you heard Meteos talk about it. He said, yeah, we're picking things that aren't very good early on. We're going to wait to scale up and hope things kind of pan out. I don't think that plays to C9's strengths very well. When you think about the 2 splits, they were dominant. The first time around, they played dominant in lane. Meteos farmed up, and they would just dive you relentlessly at your turrets 15 minutes in with a gold lead. Now, of course, players have gotten better. They can't just do that and just play, well, laning phase in a team fight. That's not an acceptable style. Last split, they played hyper-aggressive early game, create the advantages, force things, and that was actually very successful. They, again, won the split despite teams getting better and better. Now they've got this weird mix between the two where they're not winning their lanes on their own, but they're not doing very much to create advantages. The one thing I will commend them on is the fact that they are doing a very good job of playing the map. They actually remained up or equal in turrets the entire time, despite giving up dragons, despite giving up kills. But a better team would have taken those kills, not given up their own turrets, and crushed the game.
Can they win these games without having to come back, given the champions that they're defaulting to?
I mean, they are picking late game champions, right? Like, they're going to, by virtue of their champ select, probably get behind early on. The problem is they're getting farther behind early on than they should, that dragon fight, for example. And again, a team with better mid-game shot calling than Dignitas or better mid-game sort of mobility would punish this composition.
All right, well, let's take a quick look at that clip of the Dragon because, Irene, this was a bright spot for Dignitas where we actually saw Crumbs use the Rengar ult in a very innovative way. So I want you to kind of walk me through this whole engagement.
All right, so Balls gets caught at the start, and this is right after the pause. They might be a little discombobulated, but we're going to roll the clip out here and just follow it along. They get a lot of poke down with Gragas, with Xerath before the fight really even starts. The ultimates are blown, and multiple members of Cloud9 are at half HP. They disengage it, Balls is healing up, but then when they re-engage the fight here, we see Crumbs. He's using his ultimate just to get ferocity there, because he's part of a poke comp. He's not going to leap in on you. He throws in the bola, he hits high with it, and they set it up with a Jinx Rocket, and Lemon is a little too slow with the Unbreakable to back him up. They end up picking up Meteos in the pit, and the smite from Crumbs gets the Dragon. Overall, it's a 3-for-0. They get Dragon, then they rotate to Baron and take it there. But Dignitas don't continue the pressure. Crumbs gets caught later on, and Meteos said, he has no escapes when you're playing that Rengar. If you catch him out, he's done for. So they played exactly to that strength. They did stall the game out and got that Mundo to a very tanky point where he could do that type of play again, but not be punished for it. So they did just kind of go to that win condition and say, we're behind, but we still have a way back into this game, and they didn't panic.
All right, well, we've seen Cloud9 demonstrate some really fantastic team play.
Yeah.
Let's look forward all the way to Worlds. Supposing that they do make it there, when you're at that level of play, can they pull these kinds of comebacks off with just their team synergy, or are they going to have to, step up?
I think they will definitely have to step up. Now, we did, again, see glimmers of really good intelligence from High, their primary shot caller. And again, this is a team with a lot of good mid-game mobility. The weakness in Dignitas' comp was the fact that they're basically one big artillery piece. They're going to set up, they'll take time to set up, but then if they're all, aiming the right direction, the front line's there, they're going to crush you. And we saw that with the Dragon fight as the primary example. If Dignitas can set up, they'll win battles. And you saw great moves by C9 to wrest control back, not be in these prolonged sieges and play around that. And that is a great intuitive skill that they will still possess. But I think they've got to shore up those early mid-game weaknesses to not require comebacks to win games.
Yeah, on the world stage, you're going to have to step up your game tenfold, because if you're playing a team like Samsung Blue, which is already qualified right now, they're going to crush you. If they get a lead like that, just 3,000 gold that early on, a large percentage of your gold, they're just going to continue to push that advantage, change the Dragon into wards, continue to get your objectives, basically strangle you until you can't breathe anymore. That's exactly what they do, and they're just going to keep the pressure on.
Well, to go further with this point then, they play LMQ tomorrow, which is one of the North American teams that will take an early lead and they will punish you. They will do what Cloud9 used to do, which is dive you under turrets and be super aggressive. So should Cloud9 be taking, note of that? How are they going to beat that tomorrow?
I mean, the cool thing is that, again, Cloud9 still have this very good mid-game, which is like the one spot where LMQ can screw up, because they will just keep going for dives. And I still remember one of the comebacks that C9 had, where there's this big fight in like the bottom tier 2 turret, and LMQ just keeps limping into the battle, and Cloud9 wins the battle. The mid-game of C9 just is very, very good, and they tend to be grouped up. They tend to not make these big mistakes when the turret sieges are on, and that is a place where LMQ actually can falter. And so it's going to be a similar situation to where LMQ can take early game leads. We've seen that before. And once again, it's how well can Cloud9 adapt to the game as it plays out.
And here's the thing, too. In that matchup right now, Cloud9 is 2-1 over LMQ. Can LMQ bring it back and make it 2-2, or are Cloud9 just going to say, we have your number? Because LMQ right now, they look like the front runners in terms of regression. And in this game, if Cloud9 plays like that, I don't think it's going to work out for them. They've been highly competitive games over and over again, but I think that Sneaky is just their saving grace right now. I really have to think that he's holding that team together in these later games when they get to that point, because his positioning's always been fantastic, and he hasn't really fallen off at all.
So the rest of the members of Cloud9 maybe going to have to step it up a little bit tomorrow to paw to win against LMQ. The race for the playoffs has only become more exciting as we watch the standings shift. Guys, thank you so much for all of the input there. Now we have to take one last break before we dive into our final LCS game of the day, Counter Logic Gaming versus Curse. The North American LCS returns after this.